Now, if you are of African descent like myself, I'm Nigerian, and I am from a particular tribe in Nigeria. We have over 250 tribes. I'm from Edo. I am Bini. I am a Edo girl, okay? But I'm a Bini woman. So my dialect is Edo language. That's what I speak. Everybody has an accent. Whether you're an American, European, Asian, African, we all have an accent. But for some interesting, strange reason, the most accepted accent, even in other people's communities, the most accepted and the most valued accent is the English accent. It doesn't even make sense because English people have different accents. Like an American white person, I'm going to use whites or Caucasians, okay? An American white person in Texas has a different accent from an American white person in Florida. A Caucasian, also known as a white person in Europe, England, they have a different accent. Even in the UK, different white people have different accents. White people, Caucasians in France, in Germany, they all have different accents. So it baffles me. It's a thing of confusion for me when every other tribe and race wants everybody to have an English accent. It doesn't make sense because there's nothing like an English accent. If you differ or you don't agree with what I just said, please let me have your own opinion in the comment section. Because, like I said, I don't think there's anything as English accent. It doesn't really exist. If you try to explain it to anybody, it doesn't even make sense. Okay, but I deviate. So let me go back to where I started from. Be yourself. If you have an accent, please carry your accent with your whole chest and be confident. I just saw a movie by a Nigerian producer, Omoni Oboli. I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing her name correctly, but she produced a movie. I can't remember. I think the name escapes me. But what I really loved in the movie was this guy. I think his name is Uzo Arukwe. Okay, so Amedo. If I'm pronouncing names from other tribes, I might butcher the names, so forgive me. But I think I'm really good I really do my best to pronounce names. I really try. Anyway, so this guy was dating this girl. Both of them are Igbos in the film. But I think the lady is Yoruba, but she really tried, in her role as an Igbo lady. The bottom line was that she struggled. When they started dating, he wanted to marry her. And one of her complaints was his accent. But the guy did not back down. And he did not attempt to fine-tune his accent. Because again, it is your identity. For me, as a Nigerian, when I meet other Nigerians, when I live in the US, but when I used to live in Nigeria, it was always exciting to meet someone with a different accent. Because I can pick an Igbo or Yoruba accent to a large extent, right? Or someone from the north. It's your identity, is who you are. So why do you want to try and put yourself in bondage by struggling to speak with an English accent, which does not even exist? Because like I just explained, the Caucasians or the white man that brought English language, all of them have different accents. So why are you killing yourself? Now, when it comes to living in a diaspora, so when you live outside of your country, I'm going to use Africa as a continent and different immigrants migrating to the US or Europe, you will struggle in communication because a lot of them will, they will be confused when you speak because your pronunciations are different. You should work on those, like if you need to communicate with someone who doesn't understand your accent, especially if you are from an African country, I mean, Africans, we can understand each other, but Caucasians or Asians, they struggle sometimes to understand the way we speak. Yes, I agree. Try and learn how to pronounce words that will make it easier for you to communicate. 100%. But do not allow anybody intimidate you. Don't allow anybody make you feel less than who you are because you have an accent. That's my own advice, right? Don't allow anybody make you feel less than. I could go on and on about the accent thing, but I don't want to ruffle feathers. So let me just move to the next point I have in this conversation. Don't be ashamed of your origin or where you're from, your family background. A lot of people feel they should be ashamed of their family name. Now, if you come from a family where the leaders in that family have been criminals, you have a right to be ashamed, like it's very embarrassing. But if the issue is that you lived in a particular zip code and that zip code means you are ghetto or you are poor, and look, you are God's creation. That's enough, right? Love yourself. Be proud of your family name. Be proud of your origin. Be proud. Don't be ashamed. I've met, not a lot, but I've met or I've experienced or I've had the experience of meeting someone who is a Nigerian from a particular tribe, and he married someone who is not from Nigeria. And the lady was talking to me and she wasn't even sure of his tribe or where he came. I was so confused. And then when I tried to, anyway, now I don't even try stuff like that. But when I tried to inquire, it appears he didn't want to associate with his tribe or where he's from. I'm like, man. Anyway, be proud of who you are. Be proud of your tribe. Be proud of, you are God's creation. That's enough, right? Be proud of where you come from. Honestly, be yourself. Be confident. Don't allow anyone make you feel like because you're from a particular tribe or from some particular part of the world, then you are less than a human being. That is just nonsense. Your degree, whether you read law, whether you read medicine, if you're Nigerian, now, like we like big degrees, my dear. Footballers are making money, like, right? Soccer players are banking. Now, as a typical Nigerian, of course, we want our kids to go to university, have a good degree and all of that. But if you read nursing and someone that read medicine is looking down on you, what are you doing with that person? Or you read food and nutrition. When I was in Nigeria, people that read food and nutrition, they were making money because they were the ones in the banks, right? People that read linguistics, sociology, they got banking jobs and they were making money. That is if you decide you want to pursue banking for financial reasons, then it's up to you. But don't allow anybody put you down because your so-called degree is not one of the 5 main degrees like medicine, law, engineering, accounting, and I can't remember the 5th one, but you get what I mean. Be proud of what you studied in school and make the best use of what you read in school. Apply it to other, sectors, and just try and do your best with what you have, okay, what you graduated, the degree you earned, use it to the best of your ability. That's what I'm trying to say. Even university, if you went to a state university or federal university or an Ivy League, like in the Western world, people classify people by the colleges they attend. Don't allow anybody intimidate you because you went to a state university or you didn't go to an Ivy League. That is not a criteria. It is not going to benefit you in the long run if you don't apply yourself. Right? Agreed, there are some universities, especially in the Western world, if you go to an Ivy League school, there are specific doors that will be open to you and connections that you will make, just that exposure. Yes, but if you can't afford it or you can't afford to send your kids to private schools, it doesn't mean they're not going to be successful in life. It doesn't go like, it's not a criteria. So don't put yourself down. Don't put your kids down. Don't feel ashamed that you can't afford a particular type of school. Just don't do that. Just don't. Your skin color. Some people will get married to a light-skinned person because they want light-skinned children. That is one of the easiest signs of low self-esteem. Don't do that to yourself. If someone treats you less than, try to degrade you because you are not light-skinned, just lose the person's number. Really. And don't be in a friend group, especially with girls. Don't be in a friend group where you are the token friend. Okay? Don't do that. Fat or slim. What I would say for this, you need to make sure you are healthy in whatever weight you find yourself. There are a lot of slim people that have low self-esteem issues, and then they will transfer that negative mindset on someone who is on the plump side or someone who's overweight. Yes, if someone is overweight, it's not the end of the world. Speak respectfully to your friends. If you think, oh, this person is overweight, I need to encourage her to move more, exercise more. But don't use the person as an opportunity. Don't use the person's weight as an opportunity to make yourself feel good. Don't do that. And then overweight people or people that are if you are fat, you are fat. Please, I'm not. A lot of my friends know that my delivery is not the best, but I come with love. Honestly, I do not choose violence. I choose sincerity. If I can't be sincere with you, then I'll try to avoid having certain conversations until I feel my delivery will be, acceptable to you. If you are overweight, you are struggling with your weight, do not use that opportunity to ridicule people that are slim. Because some people that you see that are slim or skinny, they probably are struggling with an eating disorder, and then you go about, complaining, oh, you're not plump, you're not curvy, you don't have nice curves. Don't do that. That's a no. Tribal marks. A lot of Nigerians will be familiar with tribal marks, because some of us grew up with family members or friends who had tribal marks, because from what I learned when I was growing up, a lot of kids, when they were babies, they had convulsions and then serious illnesses. And based on the culture or the practice in that family, they give them they put incisions on their face to help them with the convulsions, and the convulsions go away. I don't know the science behind it, but that's why a lot of my friends, or some of my friends that had tribal marks, I know that's why they had not tribal marks, I'm sorry. Some of my friends that had marks on their face, it was because they were trying to cure like convulsions when they were little kids. And then some tribes actually still practice giving tribal marks to their kids. If you have tribal marks on your face and someone's trying to ridicule you, please lose their number. If someone respectfully asks you, oh, why do you have marks on your face? And you can say, okay, it's my tribe, it's my family, it's a tradition. And then it ends there. You are beautiful with or without tribal marks. So don't allow anyone to ridicule you or to make negative comments because you have tribal marks or because you have marks on your face. Don't tolerate it. But don't use violence. Your teeth is not white enough. Stop drinking black tea, and I think black tea and some other things that darken the teeth. But if someone decides to ridicule you because your teeth is not as white as theirs, lose their number. Now, I know I've giving the same advice, but the truth is, if someone does not speak to you respectfully and you call their attention to it, you have to set your boundaries. I'm not going to have conversations with you because every time we talk, you're always trying to pick something about my appearance, and I'm not going to take it. But for teeth that need to be whitened, you can see a dentist and you get it whiten. I think it's like a procedure where they can whiten your teeth, or you can use crest strips or something. I'm planning to use that too because I actually did whiten my teeth in Nigeria, but I couldn't even go through the whole process because it was so painful, and I still need to do some more teeth whitening. That's my accent speaking out for you. But I just got the Crest white strips because one of my friends, she has, in fact, her teeth is pure white, and she told me that's what she uses. I haven't tried it yet. Shape of your teeth. If you need braces, go get braces. Don't allow someone tease you about the shape of your teeth. Don't tolerate it. I don't like you speaking to me like that about my teeth. Thank you. So, if you notice, I'm talking about different things that people can pick or, can use to like make you feel bad, make you feel like you are inferior. And my advice is setting boundaries. I'll do another video on boundaries, but you have to speak up and you have to own your issue, whatever it is. Own it. I have an accent, yes. I'm still the finest, most intelligent human you will ever come across in your entire life. I mean, I'm not going to say it like that, you know what I mean, but just be confident. Okay, acne, hyperpigmentation. Now, teenagers will struggle with acne. Pregnant women will struggle with acne. Women after pregnancy, after having kids, might struggle with acne. You can start using sunscreen. See a dermatologist. I don't know if it's a dermatologist, but there's a specialist you can see for, when you have challenges with your skin. But if you have friends that keep teasing you about your skin, have a conversation and tell them, please cut it out. If you have any more suggestions on how I can clear the acne and the spots and the hyperpigmentation, let me know. But if you don't have any useful information, please do not make comments about my face. I don't appreciate it. And they'll be very shocked. And they'll say, oh, I didn't mean to. Well, yeah, you know now. So please, I don't want to hear anything about my skin, except you have, some information for me that will help me. Where do you shop for clothes or for wigs? Or where do you do your nails? Or do you even do your nails? Do you do your feet? Have you gone for a spa? Stuff like that. All those are ways people want to classify you. And then when they classify you, then they want to treat you in a certain way. Don't allow it. If your budget does not permit you to do facials and go to the spa, or you just don't like doing stuff like that, own it. You're still beautiful. You can do at-home treatments. Don't allow someone make you feel you have to go broke because you want to keep up with their so-called beauty routines. Don't fall for that, please. A good sunscreen, good sleeping habits, good eating habits, and your skin will be banging. Except you have some serious medical conditions, then you want to go to a specialist for, some type of treatment or a treatment plan. Who you get married to, who you marry. Sorry, let me do the one before that is where you live. Your zip code, I think I mentioned it earlier. Your zip code does not determine your worth in life. Okay? Wherever your budget can afford is where you should live. If you live in Lagos and you live on the mainland, that doesn't mean people living on the island are better than you, or your kids are going to be disadvantaged because you live on the mainland. It doesn't work. That's just not how it works. Of course, you want to make efforts to make sure that you live in a decent neighborhood, but that's as far as it goes, right? A decent neighborhood where you have good schools, to make sure your kids go to good schools, make sure you have neighbors with kids that your kids can play with, and that, they are decent, that's about